On July 15th, a disturbing story was reported by CNN. Tennessee's former vaccine manager said she was sent a dog muzzle before she was fired. She went on with, I believe it was Anderson Cooper, and said, the muzzle was to tell me to shut up, to stop telling people to get vaccinated, because the establishment left, the Democrats, keep pushing this narrative that Republicans are anti-vax when they're not. Donald Trump is begging you to give him credit for the vaccine because it has reduced cases substantially. Now, there's some new information coming out about boosters and efficacy, and I'll get into that in the main segment. If you're listening on the podcast, you'll have heard it. But Republicans have long been in favor of vaccines. Ron DeSantis went out and was advocating for it, saying this is the ticket to reopen the state, basically. And they want to keep pushing this narrative that Republicans are anti-vaxxers, which is the weirdest thing. Now, certainly, populist, libertarian types and, Trump-supporting conservative types may be skeptics, as are many PhDs, but that's different from GOP leadership. As it turns out, my friends, because you clicked the title of this video, an investigation reveals that she sent it to herself. Apparently, she is denying this, saying, no, I was hacked, but the story is quite interesting. And it plays into a bigger narrative of the lies that we are constantly inundated with by the establishment. This is the perfect example. We've seen the hate crime hoaxes. Here we have what appears to be another hoax. And I'm still saying appears to be, even though an investigation said the credit card was tied to her, it was her name. I want to make sure I say that because I'm still willing to say maybe her grand conspiracy that she actually bought her own dog muzzle, sent it to herself, claimed someone else sent it to her. Maybe there is a grand conspiracy to frame her for this. Or maybe she was actually just fired for being bad at her job, and she's trying to retaliate by lying, and CNN, the fake news media machine, gobbles it all up and spits it back in your faces. Now, you may have seen another story. This one's from a couple days ago. The co-founder of Snopes wrote dozens of plagiarized articles for the fact-checking site. Amazing. Snopes, which is supposed to be telling you the truth and fact-checking things, was actually just plagiarized garbage, which means the people writing the fact-checking didn't actually fact-check. They just copy and pasted from other articles. Well, I believe it was just the one guy. But you know what? Snopes is trash. Take a look at this first story. I want to show you how it was framed. This, my friends, is important. Okay, we're going to go through exactly how the media plays dirty games. CNN did not vet this story. They just found some woman who claimed that someone did something nasty, and they're like, this'll get us clicks and traffic. And their ratings are in the trash. CNN reports, Dr. Michelle Fiscus, a pediatrician who served as Tennessee's medical director of vaccine preventable diseases and immunization, was fired Monday in the week prior to her termination. She received a package containing a dog muzzle, she told CNN's Anderson Cooper Wednesday. Interesting. CNN, did you fact check this? Did you vet this? Did you call the shipping company? No. Did you check Amazon? No. Did you ask her for receipts? No. They didn't do anything. They're just like, hey, here's a story. Fiscus has been at the center of a political battle in Tennessee over the vaccination of adolescents against COVID-19. Before she was terminated, Fiscus released a memo citing Tennessee state law about whether minors may get medical care without their parents' permission. Backlash to the memo from state lawmakers was swift and comes amid political polarization of vaccines as experts urge Americans to get their doses and disinformation continues to drive large portions of the population away. I am loving this. Bravo, CNN. In an article which is disinformation, actually fake news, they blame other people for fake news. Fiscus said prior to her termination, a large Amazon package was delivered to her state office addressed to her. Inside, she found a dog muzzle. There was no note, and Fiscus said she contacted Amazon to try and determine who sent the muzzle. Amazon refused to reveal the sender, Fiscus said. CNN has reached out to Amazon for comment. Okay, so to be fair, sure. At first, I thought it was a joke and contacted a few friends, and then when no one claimed it, I realized that was something that was sent to me as a kind of message. At the advice of others, she said reported the incident to the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, which confirmed to CNN it is investigating the dog muzzle package. Oh, really? Fiscus said she told her husband, They obviously didn't know me because they sent me a size 3, which is for beagles, and I'm obviously a pit bull, which requires a size 6. Fiscus said she's keeping the muzzle as a souvenir. How news should work. Someone contacts me and says, someone sent me a dog muzzle. And I say, okay, is it being investigated? Yes. Can I get the information from the people doing investigation? Then I would call the, law enforcement, and they'd say, we're investigating. I'll say, what can you tell me about it? We don't know yet. And I'll say, all right, well, can you give me an update when we know? Because I have nothing to report. What did CNN report? A woman told us a thing. Are you kidding me? So I can call someone to make a claim and you'll run the story? Yes. If it makes Republicans look bad, if it's pro-establishment, they will run it without any definitive conclusion as to what happened. How is that news? Breaking news. A deer is outside. Okay. Why is that news? Well, there's a deer. And there's a deer outside. I see them all the time. Behind me, behind the camera is a window and there's deer. The point is, news, I think, matters in the sense of like something is happening when it's like you see a dude storm into a building and he's armed. You're like, a guy stormed into a building, he's armed. Like, people want to know about that. But if someone says, I got a package in the mail with a muzzle in it, you're like, okay, like that, I don't know what to tell you about that. CNN just blindly reports it. And that brings me to post-millennial. Investigation finds ex-Tennessee vaccine official bought threatening package that was sent to her. Amazing. An investigation into a dog muzzle allegedly mailed to a former vaccine manager's Tennessee home as a form of intimidation was closed Monday after it was revealed the muzzle was purchased with her own credit card. Amazing. Dr. Michelle Fiscus, a pediatrician, was terminated in July as Tennessee's medical director of vaccine preventable diseases and immunization after she published a memo advocating for minors to obtain medical care without their parents' permission. CNN's Anderson Cooper had Fiscus on 360 to talk about the dog muzzle on the show. Fiscus quipped that whoever sent her the dog muzzle obviously didn't know her. Yeah, I get it. Because a size 3 is for beagles, and I'm a pit bull. Fiscus had described her termination as a political move by Republican officials seeking retribution against her. She told investigators that the muzzle was a threat, intoning that she should stop talking about vaccinating people. What Republican is coming out and screaming these things? Save a small handful in Congress. Most Republicans are like, go and get it, whatever. Talk to your doctor about what's right for you. But according to the health department, Fiscus was fired for lousy interpersonal communication skills, poor management, and attempting to direct state funds to a nonprofit she founded. Look at that. It seems like she was trying to siphon money. She is a bad person. Stop letting these people manipulate you. They take advantage of your good faith. CNN props them up because CNN is garbage. Wake up to the mainstream media. I know it's pointless. I'm preaching to the choir. But maybe, just maybe, there's somebody who's watching a video of mine for the first time and they're like, I trust the media. Look what CNN runs. The woman faked it, according to the investigators. She faked it. She's denying it, but she faked it. Look how far she goes. Well, first, let me show you this tweet. Someone tweeted, you can go back in time and leave a note for yourself in mid-March 2020, in the first few days of the lockdown. You will know it's from your future self. What do you write? She said, Dear future me, it's March 20, and guess what? By mid-August 21, you will have been sent a dog muzzle, been fired from your job for sharing a Tennessee law with doctors, sold your house, and decided to move to Virginia, all because Tennessee sides with COVID. No, I'm not drunk. Brace yourself. Fiscus and her husband had claimed in multiple interviews that the muzzle was sent anonymously to her state office before her termination. But an investigation by the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security discovered that the muzzle was purchased from Fiscus's own American Express credit card, according to Axios. Fiscus had falsely claimed to have received the muzzle as a threat a week before her termination and denied the veracity of the report on Monday in a tweet. Hold tight. No, I didn't send it to myself. She said, regarding the muzzle, I asked Homeland Security to investigate the origin. Just provided a redacted HS report by Axios Nashville. Report says a second account was made under my name from a phone in Washington. Waiting on unredacted report. Hold tight. No, I didn't send it to myself. Quote, we have now learned that a second Amazon account had been established under my name, she said, using what appears to be a temporary phone in Washington. Okay. The TDOSHS subpoenaed Amazon records and discovered two accounts in the official's name. One, which Fiscus allowed the agency to review, and another which was used to purchase the muzzle. Fiscus is now claiming the second account associated with her was fabricated by someone else in an elaborate plot to send her a dog muzzle and essentially frame her for sending it to herself. According to the report, the American Express card used as payment on the account was a match for the first American Express card that was used to purchase the muzzle on the second Amazon account, which was in Fiscus's name. You mean to tell me it's an elaborate conspiracy that somebody made a fake account with your name, with your stolen credit card, to send you a dog muzzle so that you would go on TV with it and then get discredited later when the investigation revealed you did it yourself? No, these are stupid people. They are lying to you all the time. Imagine still falling for these lies after so long. I've fallen for them before. You have, I'm sure. We all did, because we all are trusting people. We're not bad people. We want to have faith that people are acting in good faith. And they call me a grifter? Yeah, right. This lady staged this to get airtime, to push a lie, because she is a psychopath. She is a sociopath. She has no scruples nor any empathy for human beings. The report, based on the information provided to us by Amazon via subpoena and on information derived from interviews, there is no evidence to indicate the dog muzzle was intended to threaten Dr. Fiscus. The report concluded, the result of this investigation indicate that purchases from both Amazon accounts were charged to the same Amex credit card in the name of Dr. Michelle D. Fiscus. At the time, there appears to be no threat toward Dr. Fiscus associated with receipt of the dog muzzle. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Apparently, she was fired because she was bad at what she did. But this is what passes off as news. Now, I'm not trying to just act like the media is always bad. Obviously, I'm using news articles in my stories. Axios exposed this. I'm just saying, why did they put her on TV in the first place? CNN is gutter trash. Don't put her on TV. But it was salacious. It was shocking. It was given that little tiny hit of that orange man bad. Oh, so good. During the Trump years, man, they got so much. During the Trump years, they were just screaming Trump's name. The far right, the Republicans, And now that it's not happening anymore, now that it's Biden, now that it's Afghanistan, this is something where they're like, ooh, this will play well for the pathetic audience that we've built. The only remaining people watching CNN are those who are just going through withdrawals about why they hate Donald Trump. Which brings me to the report from BuzzFeed you may have seen. It's all fake, isn't it? It's all fake all the way down. The co-founder of Snopes wrote dozens of plagiarized articles for the fact-checking site. Wow. How hard is it to actually just fact-check? Apparently, what he was actually doing was just copying and pasting other people's articles without actually fact-checking. And that's probably why Snopes got so much wrong and does. And hey, check it out. It's BuzzFeed that did the investigation. So I am not saying they're all bad all of the time. They just have a tendency to do bad for political reasons, and you got to be careful about your sources. Here's the story from BuzzFeed. The co-founder of Snopes wrote dozens of plagiarized articles for the fact-checking site. David Mickelson, the co-founder of the fact-checking website Snopes, has long presented himself as the arbiter of truth online, a bulwark in the fight against rumors and fake news. But he has been lying to the site's tens of millions of readers. A BuzzFeed News investigation has found that between 2015 and 2019, Mickelson wrote and published dozens of articles containing material plagiarized from news outlets such as The Guardian and the LA Times. After inquiries from BuzzFeed News, Snopes conducted an internal review and confirmed that under a pseudonym, the Snopes byline, and his own name, Mickelson wrote and published 54 articles with plagiarized material. The articles included such topics as same-sex marriage licenses and the death of David Bowie, a pseudonym. This is truly incredible stuff. I want to show you NewsGuard. I use NewsGuard, right? Just for a bias check. I think NewsGuard is very biased. Notice how in their list, BuzzFeed gets a 100 out of 100. Good for them. They say the site provides names of content creators along with either contact or biographical information. Green check. Good work, BuzzFeed. And that's because you can go up and you can see someone like Dean Sterling Jones, the contributor, not an employee, a contributor. And if you click their name, you get taken to information or contact information about them. For Snopes to be using a pseudonym, they are publishing fake news. Okay, maybe it's a little harsh. Some people have pen names for a reason. But when you have a guy who writes under his own name and a fake name, that's amazing. Oh, and the Snopes byline. That is an attempt to obfuscate. If your name is, John Doe, and you're like, well, I don't want my real name to be out there, so I'll just use a pseudonym with my photo and bio, and that will be my public persona. That's fine. As long as we can track back your articles to you, we know what you look like, we know who you are. I don't care what we call you. We can read about you. Maybe you just don't want your real name to be revealed because you don't want people looking up your private records or anything like that. But, you've got people like Jack Murphy, for instance. Jack Murphy is not his real name. I think, most people know that, or maybe they don't. But, he made a joke about it online. But he calls himself what he wants to call himself. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. Jack's a good dude. In this instance, the guy from Snopes was using 3 different bylines to trick you into thinking different people were writing. Now, isn't that amazing? After inquiries from BuzzFeed, Snopes conducted an internal review and confirmed that under a pseudonym, the Snopes byline his own name, he was writing his articles. Snopes VP of Editorial and Managing Editor Doreen Marchioni suspended Mickelson from editorial duties pending a comprehensive internal investigation. He remains an officer and a 50% shareholder of the company. Our internal research so far has found a total of 54 stories Mickelson published that used appropriated material, including all of the stories BuzzFeed shared with us. Marchioni and Snopes Chief Operating Officer Vinnie Green said in a statement, "Let us be clear. Plagiarism undermines our mission and values, full stop." You know what's funny about plagiarism? You could literally go to an article and they'll write like, "The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog." And then you could just write, "Earlier in the day, there was a lazy dog sitting on the ground. It was reported that a quick brown fox had jumped over him, so saith LA Times." And then you're not plagiarizing, you're just citing. Or you can take the quote, put it in a box and say, "according to the LA Times." It's how insanely lazy is it to just grab texts and publish it as your own? Mickelson said, "There's no excuse for my serious lapses in judgment. I'm sorry." Quote, from this, so there's a quote here from 2016. "So I was browsing the news and came across an article on the CBS News website about a horrific crime involving a Memphis woman. I wondered as I pondered the headline, Memphis mom charged with, I'm not going to read the specifics. Did this woman murder her children in a bear-like fashion? Or was the mother extremely advanced age? Meet Jeff Zerenandia. During a brief but memorable career, his byline, linked to a bio detailing his Pulitzer Prize and his skill at mule skinning, appeared in at least 23 Snopes articles on topics like Donald Trump's financial woes and false rumors about Hillary Clinton. His reporting made enemies of hoaxers and fabulists across the political spectrum. But there was no such person. It's just a David Mickelson alt. The Post-Millennial, according to NewsGuard, because I used them in the previous story, once ran stories from people who didn't exist. Basically, somebody wrote a story up, gave them a fake name, and they published it. It was a mistake. They deleted it. You got to do better when you're getting contributors. I won't take contributors unless I know who the person is. Like I can actually see them and meet them and know their name. In this instance, we're seeing exactly what that is. Snopes ran articles from someone who did not exist, a fake person with fake opinions and a fake bio. Look at this. It's amazing. We have Snopes, boxer Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, dead at 74, and they just he just grabbed from NBC News on the same day. It's just so insane. All right. Why does this matter? Right now, we have authoritarian lockdowns happening across this country. And you have people who are lying to get these things put in place. And you have people being lied to who believe it, who then put stupid things in place. How are we supposed to solve for all these problems? How are we supposed to make the country better and make your life better and my life better? How are we supposed to work towards making the world a better place when we have establishment Democrat liars publishing manipulated, fake, deceptive information for personal gain? Why would he do it? Why would the Snopes guy do it? Laziness? Political advantage of some sort? Why would this woman claim she was sent a dog muzzle? She wants to be famous? It's oh so simple. Just send yourself the dog muzzle. It's really funny how these hoaxers are so dumb. Because to be completely honest, it's not hard to figure out how to send yourself a dog muzzle. I mean, it's really easy. She went on Amazon and used her Amex card to order it. Okay, or to be fair, a grand conspiracy was had where someone created a fake account using her name and stole her credit card information to send her a dog muzzle to her workplace in the hope that she would go on TV with it and then be discredited later. Yeah, okay. That's insane. Sorry. No, it's likely because she wants attention. And they will lie to get what they want. This is what we're up against. It's not an easy thing to challenge. But it's leading to the extreme authoritarianism that we're seeing because these people are psychopaths that will burn everything down figuratively if it means they get even a tiny bit of power. Don't let them. Speak up now. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.